In this episode, R Factor 2 exposed, APIGA AP2 foldable rig, Reflex MX versus ATV, and top sim cars. It's been a while since we had a racing rig reviewed on the show.
Sure has.
So next up, Sean and Darren reviewed the APIGA AP2. It's a foldable racing rig.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, a guy on our forums had posted asking if we were going to review it. Pork and Roll, I think, was the forum poster's name. Anyway, kind of a funny.
It's funny if you think about pork and roll.
Yeah. So anyway, he had posted a link and questions about, have we heard about it? Are we going to review it? And never heard about it, so I contacted them. And Jonathan Chan is the guy's name. Got back to me and said they'd love to have the rig on the show. So
straight from Hong Kong too, all the way from
right.
Hong Kong.
Yep.
And it retails for about $200, and it's additional for the mount for the keyboard, well, the shifter.
Yeah, the keyboard, shifter mount, and mouse tray are all additional.
Comes to about $105 for those three items on top of the $200.
Plus shipping is additional too. So yeah.
You can get it on eBay, right?
That's about the only place you can get it right now. Yeah, so eventually it's going to be widely available. He's talking about distribution points, like one in Vancouver. So
it's easily assembled and easily disassembled. It's foldable once again, and it's compatible with all the Logitech wheels. And
soon to be Fanatic wheels too.
Soon to be Fanatic wheels.
They're working together. Got some pictures actually I can show you that with the Fanatic attached to it. So yeah, they're working together too.
You guys drilled it and.
No, we didn't. This is actually from APIGA. He sent me these. So we actually just used the G27, made it easy for us, because it just plug and play for that one.
All right, well, let's see what Sean and Darren thought about the APIGA AP2.
All right, here we are with the APIGA AP2 foldable or collapsible, whatever you want to call it, driving rig. And I'd like to thank Jonathan Chan at APIGA for hooking us up with this. One of the first you'll see out and about. I've seen some forum posts here and there about them, but we've got the first live action review of one of these.
And this is the type of design I've been dying for. It's a different approach from what we've seen for the pull-up rig, I'll call them.
Yeah, and it's definitely collapsible. 76 by 50 by 20 centimeters is the collapsible size. 14 kilograms. You guys can do your conversions there. Sean, why don't you go and show them how it opens up here.
It's kind of cool. You got a little collapser latch here, which kind of holds it all together, and it's really pretty simple. Flex it, fold it, and down. Watch your toes
Don't
there.
slam me in the knee with it or shin.
Don't hit your buddy. And then it actually comes with a knob, which you just put in right there, and that's what holds it in the upright position. One on each side. And it's pretty much that easy to get it out of the closet and set up. I mean, obviously mount your wheel, or we would have had the wheel already mounted to it.
Yep. And it's, speaking of, now assembly, we actually have a little assembly video. Why don't we go ahead and roll that, and then we'll come back and tell you about the pros and cons, all that good stuff.
See how it got to here.
Yep. Here we go. All right, there you have it. As you can see, easy assembly, real quick. I mean, it took me, 15 minutes to get this thing assembled.
Even with the Hong Kong instructions.
That was the only problem. The instructions were in Chinese, or whatever Hong Kong's language is. And I'm assuming it's Chinese.
I think that's right.
And, but there was some pictures, so I kind of got the gist of it. But, I mean, it was pretty self-explanatory.
It's kind of one of those round peg goes in round hole. It all went together. It was pretty self-explanatory.
Exactly.
Like
It even came with some smaller knobs, and as you'll see here, to install the pedals, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Comes in one nicely packaged box. Probably took longer to take it out of the box than it actually did to assemble it.
Unwrapping all the pieces.
Yep. Only available on eBay that I've seen so far, and it's going for $200. Looks like it'll ship anywhere in the world. I have no idea what the shipping costs are. At the end of this piece, hopefully Jessica and I will have some information on you. I've emailed them and and we'll see what we can get for you on that. But $200 available, like I said, on eBay. Now, with the gear shift mount, which you see right here,
which is drilled for the Logitech.
yeah, so this is really meant, speaking of which, this is meant for all the Logitech wheels, G25, G27, DFGT, DFP. That's what it's standard, but you can drill it for the Fanatic wheel. There's no question it'll work with that. The shifter mount is an additional $39. So the rig and the shifter mount is $238. If you're a PC racer, you want a keyboard tray, why don't we show them the articulating arm?
Here you go. Look at this. I love this. It actually clamps onto the mechanism. You can adjust its length, and it's got a little rotation ability to put it kind of in the ballpark where you want it.
Yep. So that's an additional $49. And then there's this speaker, they call it a speaker tray or a mouse tray. That's an additional $15. So actually, if you wanted it for a console racer and you got a G25 or G27, I definitely got to get the shifter mount. So there you have there you have 238. And then, I think it would be really cool to have two speakers right hooked up there.
Actually, that would be...
if you're a console racer.
Yeah, I guess with two, when you said speaker, I thought, well, with one, that'd be kind of odd. But yeah, with two, that'd be very cool.
Yeah, you got to get the opposite side. So anyway, if you get PC, keyboard, mouse, and shifter, $302. Does not include shipping.
All right.
So
it
there's your
gets up
cost.
there a little bit, but that's a lot of accessories as well.
Yeah, and this is not, this is kind of in a class of its own now. This is a dual post, where some of the ones we've reviewed, or most of the like the couch or the portable rigs are a single post that come up between your legs. Now this is a dual post, which is really cool. I like having it on the outside of me.
Yeah, I find some of the single posts, actually, I end up rubbing my calf or shin on the post while braking or gas. And on this, obviously, you have nothing in your way. It's very open feeling.
Even compared to like the Game Racer, which is a sit-down rig and has the post in the middle,
Yeah.
which it was kind of tough to, especially if you're going for heel-toe action. It's just that post in the middle is kind of a hindrance, where this dual post is not. So speaking of which, that was one of the pros. Let's just go through the pros and cons here.
Sounds good.
So the dual post design, as we said, adjustable height.
Yeah, so you got two knobs here, telescoping top.
Yeah, so this will pull out, and we'll show you some better footage of it, and running it on two different chairs.
Yeah, and we've tried extreme different levels, so it is very adjustable.
The best way to run it is with a chair like this AK rocker chair.
Yeah.
Sitting it low, and the reason why is because of some wobble, and that's one of the cons, but we'll get to that in a second. Another pro, collapsible. As you saw when we first started, and we'll show you some more shots, but this thing is just totally collapsible. Stick it in your closet.
Yeah, take out the two knobs, collapse it, and you're walking off with it.
Some cool add-ons. I like that you can get a shifter tray. That's kind of rare in this day and age. You don't see any of these rigs come with a shifter tray or having an option for it.
The other thing about the shifter tray, it's in a very good position, and it's very firmly mounted. And it's pre-drilled for the Logitech, so a lot of thought into it as well.
Yep. The easy assembly, quick, and it comes in nicely packaged, ready to go, pretty much. PC or console racer, I'd say. I don't know about like some serious endurance racing, or if I was like running in a pro series or something, but for just some casual PC sim racing, and even maybe some weekly league stuff. It's definitely good enough for that, I would say. And console, man, I'd say it's like probably one of the best console rigs there are.
Definitely, and again, we'll get to some of the cons, but the lower profile you use it, I think the more substantially you could use it. So
another pro, good pedal angle. The stock pedal angle is good. And then you could also it comes with two smaller knobs where you can mount the G25 or 27 pedals. And then if you're not using those, there's a little tray stop, so you can adjust them forward and back just for some of those smaller pedal units.
Yeah.
And then adjustable wheel deck, which is nice
to
have. You can do the tilt. So if you want to run it, with your wheel at an angle, you can do that, or you can make it so your wheel's more flush.
It's not going to have adjustability front and back, just on the angle.
Exactly.
The other thing I liked also was the adjustable feet. So you can actually get that thing where it's really, if you have an uneven, floor, you're going to be able to tune it in and get it nice and flat for you.
Exactly, and then that's going to take us to our. Any more pros for you?
You know, I think the overall finish is actually really nicely done as
I do
well.
too.
It's good quality metal, it seems. It does scratch, so we've been moving this up and forward. You're going to see little marks where the screw-in parts go in, but the ultimate finish is real good and clean, and,
I agree.
and a lot
Durable.
of thought. I mean, they definitely pre-planned and thought about it and refined it. And
This thing's not going to break on you.
no, no, definitely not.
So yeah, that's the pros, and I'd say there's quite a few of them there. Now to the cons, not much adjustability. You know, we mentioned the angle of the pedals is good, but there's not much adjustability to them.
Right.
You're really stuck right where they're at, especially with the G25s because they're hard mounted. But I guess you could change them. But for me being tall, using the lower seat, I needed the pedals a little bit further out, and it wasn't allowing that.
And obviously, normally I need my pedals closer than you do, but I still found that even though they're adjustable, they max out to a certain distance, and that wasn't far enough for me. I mean, I was able to get comfortable.
Now, sitting in this chair.
Yes.
Sit in a higher chair, story changes. I mean, this thing's really made for, it seems, a chair that sits up like a standard a folding chair is like what we're running. We show you some pictures of that too, or some footage, but that gives you a little bit better angle on as far as your legs go and how your knees are bent, and I don't need it as far out that way. So
Yeah.
it is really meant for being up at a standard. But I kind of less wobble at this height, but I liked racing like that too. So I mean, it wasn't that bad. Now let's talk about the other con. We just mentioned it, wobble. A little too much. I mean, I'm holding it still here. Down at the lower, sitting in the rocker chair, I didn't even notice it. Up in the higher chair, I kind of noticed it. These guys said they really noticed it when they were filming, and I did notice that because the mouse stayed on longer when I was in the lower chair than when I was in the higher chair. And the last con, only available on eBay right now. That will change if you watch this review. You know, in the future, you know, wearing this in March of 2010, and available. It'll be available more readily in the future, but for now it's only available on eBay. They're planning worldwide distribution, but kind of hard to find. So you can go to APIGA.com.hk to check out their website. We're going to put it on our rev scale. And Sean, why don't you tell them what we gave it?
We gave it an 8. It bounced around a little bit. I thought it was going to be a little higher, but in doing testing in the higher chair, it wiggled a little more, and that held it back down to that 8.
But still a solid. We highly recommend it for, this is, again, one of the first dual post designs we've seen. And definitely worth the $200, I'd say, for the stock version, and up to the 304 or whatever we came to for the, or was it 302?
Well, you know me, when it comes
302.
to rigs, whether it's a home built or something you buy, I believe you need to modify just about anything. When it comes to a rig like this, like the pedals not being where I want, you know what? It's going to be tricky, but I'm going to find a way to move those pedals outward, run this in the low position, and it was really, I mean, I could do some racing in this rig for sure.
Yeah, and it is welded to, so finding or moving those pedals out might be a little bit of a challenge. Excuse me there.
It's gonna take some drilling and some washers, but.
Yep. So that's gonna do it. APIGA AP2, and again available only on eBay, and you can go to the website apiga.com.hk. Check it out.
There you have it, the APIGA AP2 foldable racing rig, coming in at 8 points out of 10, which is pretty good.
Yep, definitely, and I definitely recommend it. You can check it out at apiga.com.hk, and again, they're going to be distributing these things worldwide eventually. I mean, you can get them worldwide right now just through eBay, as far as I know, but yeah, it's a cool rig. I liked it. I definitely recommend it.
Cool stuff. Next up, the moment you guys have probably all been waiting for.